Good evening, everyone. This is a short update about development of my AMICUBE project and this little edge board that's right now running Minimig core, AGA-Minimig core. And I think I'll have reached the milestone the other day because there's quite a few things I wanted to have here running. But because of the limited space in terms of fabric size and I/O, this board cannot go any further. So we'll need to jump to the next level, use SP701, which I'm going to show you in a second. This is the board that I was talking about before. But one way or another, I have a good news. I mean, everything that I wanted to make here work, it's working now. Just a reminder, so we have Pmod here for PS2, for joysticks connected with these jump wires, audio coming out of the audio jack, VGA right now connected, and all sorts of things like RTG running, HDMI running in parallel. What I didn't do yet, and I don't think I will push further for obvious reasons, limitations in the size of this little Artix-7. RTG is not implemented, but HDMI does work and does that phenomenal rescaling of the top level resolution, so you can zoom in your games, which is great. It's my favorite way of playing Amiga games right now, I must be honest. And SPI issues that I had and instability issues that are related with latency, with the routing and the certain paths in the FPGA, that's corrected. Even though it's very difficult now, once you get above 60–70% of fabric in use, optimizer or synthesizer of the code does not work well. You should always be, in my opinion, below 50% of use, because that way optimization is easier. We're talking about nanoseconds here, so the path needs to be optimal. Anyhow, long story short, let me show you here what's done so far. Let me see if I can zoom in here. It might be a problem because sometimes picture cannot be focused. Let me see if I can do that now. I'm hoping that the screen is not blinking or it's losing the focus. So I'm just going to leave it as it is for now. Hopefully this will do. Anyhow, let me show you. This is of course Minimig AGA core running. Here, the problem was that I couldn't enable turbo both, right? I could do non or chip RAM, but if I try both, that was a problem because it was unstable. And the part that was problematic here was I believe, kick. Therefore, let me show you now. If I disable this and if I run sysinfo, my SPI performance is just horrible. I mean, the SPI performance are like 800 kilobytes per second, which is half of what Minimig can do, right? So see, even goes lower. But if I enable turbo mode, especially for kick, I can do both now because everything's optimized. You get formidable 1300, which is kind of like slightly lower than Minimig, but it's good enough for this to be functional. So I won't try to optimize this further, simply because my fabric is full and difficult to find appropriate paths. In fact, a lot of this debugging, I did change SPI, the way SPI works, the SPI clock, all sorts of things, and then I realized it's not the freaking SPI. That part is implemented well. It's the Amiga part that cannot just take the data. So anyhow, now I figured out this is this turbo thing, and then there is plenty of ways to improve it, but this is good enough, I would say. As you can see, I mean, it's fully functional. Even in this mode, if I go to chipset and I enable turbo, before if I start alien breed, the whole thing would just crash. Now it's working fine. That includes, of course, the demos and so forth. Amiga demos, that works as well. Now, apologies if the zoom is not working well, or rather focus. And certainly this camera has a problem focusing on this distance, but hopefully it's not going to be too annoying. Sound is working as well. As you can see, it's coming out of the sound jack. So what else I can tell you? I mean, you know, the instability issues that I had, I was able to solve. It's still bittersweet because the fabric is not as good, is not as big as it should be. As you can see, RTG is working. It's not working on the HDMI. I don't have space to implement it, but now it's coming the second board, which is this bad boy. It's a SP701. It's an official Xilinx platform for Gen 7. These boards are highly reliable. They all go through, as you can see here, X-ray pass. So they're X-ray tested. Every pin is tested. It's a phenomenal platform. Plethora of I/O. Look at the number of Pmods. This is just bonkers. You have interfaces MIPI DSI, MIPI CSI. There is a FMC LPC here. This thing is super important. It's designed for high-speed networking, transceivers, interfacing transceivers, this and that. But it can be used. It's just, you know, the lines going to FPGA directly. If you know about Samtec, Samtec is making these connectors in North America, so I'm going to get some samples for a development board that I'm going to attach here, or rather attachment board. And I'm going to try to attach SDRAM, some physical MCUs. There is a new chip that can be used as a replacement for some S7 that I'm going to port firmware to. And we'll definitely have soft MCU, let's say hardware MCU, SDRAM. I think this is LPDDR4. Can this be used for the frame buffer? Probably, but nothing preventing us of putting DDR3 as well. Now, it all depends on the number of available pins here. These are differential pairs mostly, but I don't know how many of these are actually connected to the FPGA. I need to look at the schematics. Hopefully enough to attach at least RAM and MCU, so that will be enough for the next step. Aside from that, board has the chip for the HDMI. I think this goes RGB to HDMI. Need to double check, but I'm also going to make my own Pmods for the HDMI because I'm going to use very good and very cheap part from China for this. That's well documented. So I'm going to try to keep the cost at the bay. So all in all, next test will come from here. We'll use this board extensively, and that's the next step. So next thing I want to show you is this SPI chip here, the SPI Flash. That's I was able to. I mean, that's nothing special. You have these software tools with Vivado where you can actually push your binary, your bitstream to flash. And I think every board should now that I design contain something like this. So now there's no Vivado attached here. There's compiled ready binary. So I didn't do it before because it was always changing, but now because I'm happy, I can turn it off. I can turn this on. And now I can go here on the monitor and you can see that Minimig is actually being loaded. This is a Turbo Chameleon version of the core because that's the one that has this 832 thing that I'm using as a soft core, and you can see everything's being done in real time. There's no reason to kind of use development tools now to push for anything. That's cool. Again, to summarize, the first Pmod is done. So this is the one that's doing the PS2 and joystick ports, two joystick ports. The second one will be one with chips for the USB hub, and of course another one that I mentioned, the cheap HDMI chip and HDMI port. So that will be attached here. Luckily now we have a contender that has plenty of Pmods, plenty of pins here exposed in these high performance things here. FMC, LPC, differential pairs. So that's great. By the way, Samtec is the company, I think CuriousMarc, if you watch, I mean, if you're on YouTube and if you're into electronics, you probably know who CuriousMarc is. That's this amazing engineer who is, I believe, CTO of Samtec. That's a guy who was part of the team who did total reverse engineering of Apollo guidance computer. I believe it's called AGC. If you're interested in sort of real vintage electronics and real like engineering, high-end electronics engineering, this guy has the channel that has it all, and highly recommend it. Take a look. Just a little connection with the SMTech, I think. No, sorry, it's called Samtec. Samtec company that produces these connectors in North America, and I'll probably get some of these from them. So that's coming next. The other thing is, if I can log into my Mac now to show you this, it's a big deal. If you guys remember, and again, sorry if this thing starts misbehaving in terms of focusing. There's very little I can do. I need to figure out this Osmo device. It's always giving me more trouble than benefits. I think it's designed mostly for like video blogging, so this can sometimes be a problem. But long story short, it's if you remember, there was a board that I was designing called AMICUBE F1200. I changed the name to what it is. It's a MIST ITX because, I mean, it's original schematics and the design is from MIST. And I think to reduce the confusion and also respect the work of Till, who is a guy who started it all, who started this FPGA revolution, by the way, engineer par excellence, without whom we wouldn't have we wouldn't have this revolution in FPGA development. Remember, that was one of the first boards coming even before Mister. So to kind of respect that, honor that, this is going to be a release, MIST ATX. I've sent the layout and details to Till to just make sure everything is to his liking. And once I expect a reply every day, and once that's all in order, the board will be released, Gerber files, schematics, so anyone can use and experiment and play with the board. It's a true MIST board, fully compatible, just with all these beautiful plugins from MIDI to real-time clock, audio in for your cassette player, so you can load the course, load the games from for Sinclair, let's say. Has the video input output, this is video output for composite and audio. Every part here, even tape, and the composite, they have the headers, so you can route this with the cable outside of your ITX board. Additional button for, of course, here for a power supply, so you can turn on your computer using ATX. Install it into PC case, for example, or any ATX case, including Minimig case. So it's a beautiful little board. Will be released totally as it should be, open source, and you can play with it, assemble it. Just a word of caution: these Cyclone 3 chips are end of life. They're difficult to find. Extortionate prices in China. I think they're charging $60 per part. So this is more of a novelty than, it's going to be a major thing. I'm already working with someone. I'm going to give you the more information as the project progresses. I'm working on the board that's replacement for this. So it has the next generation FPGA, next generation SAM chip. So new I/O ports, and that's coming as well. So it's just one day going to be poof like this released. It's going to be very similar layout, with the hope that I'll be able to find enough pins to attach the expansion port, which will open the door for, I don't know, let's say Z80, MC68000, Bob's your uncle, whatever you want to attach it there. It will be the pins going directly to FPGA. And we're talking now the latest gen parts from the same category. So, by the way, and I don't know if I mentioned real-time clock as well. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of things. So basically, it's a mist, and I just slapped a lot of plugins here. You know, like everything I can find. By the way, it's not just me. I should mention another person who is behind. Sorry, your name escapes me right now. This is an amazing guy who is a fantastic PCB and software developer. There is a project called Mist 1010. If you look at that, I use the part of schematics, excluding the stuff for, of course, for power supply, excluding the routing. I use that from here because he made these schematics into KiCad, and it was easy for me to import and, you know, route design this board. So he is also an important person to mention regarding this, and I think his name should be on the board as well, because if I hate doing something that's actually putting schematics so boring and just you know, copying schematics from one format to another, he did a lot of that. So he's also an important part here. Anyhow, this is it. I mean, you know, it is Mist. It is ITX form factor. It does run Minimig AGA core. It's comparable to super fast Amiga 1200, and it's a great thing. I also added the header for ESP32. There are these switches here, so you can choose whatever you like to use. Wi-Fi, you want to use MIDI, you choose MIDI because there's one serial line. So MIDI, or you can use tape, so you can choose tape. So you know, just switch these jumpers here, or you can even connect some sort of button here. So that's that. I mean, it's easy as that. Anyhow, that's additional thing that's coming. Stay tuned, subscribe, and you'll get notified once the files are released. I'll make a very short video I'll show you the location on the Minimig website, where you can download Gerber files, schematics, even online part locator and stuff like that. All the good stuff, you know. In terms of firmware, it's, you know, what I can say, it's Mist, you know. It's you download Mist firmware, Mist cores, and Bob's your uncle is just formatted in this, you know, mini ATX form factor. It's nothing really revolutionary here. Just beautiful Mist board. So that's all I think what I have for now, I guess next big update regarding the whole thing with the AMICUBE is going to be working parts here on this SP701. That will, I think, make a huge difference. It will give us the wings in terms of fabric space for all these HDMI improvements, even the sound card that we'll be able to add from the Verilog from RTL perspective here on the chip. So good things are coming. Next step is here, and again, it's not really about specific board. It's about interconnecting all these modules and understanding how this is all performing in that sense, and having proper Pmods, so these parts can be ported to the different to the different boards, different platforms, and so on. So maybe we are 50% done to get there. Thanks for watching, and subscribe again, and hopefully talk to you soon. Have a good one, and maybe let's finish with this beautiful board running.